Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something, well, pretty fascinating. Crystals and their connection to wellness. You almost certainly see them, maybe even use them yourself. And people talk a lot about their benefits.
They really do.
So for you, we really want to dive into this key question. Are the positive effects people feel with crystals, are they genuine health benefits? Or is it more about, the power of belief?
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we're drawing on some insights from a Supreme Medic Lifelines episode and a related article. Both give a really good foundation, actually.
Good stuff.
Yeah, for understanding the whole relationship between crystals, our well-being, the role belief plays, and, what science actually says.
Okay.
So our mission here is to explore the history, the modern beliefs, the scientific angle, potential psychological impacts, and maybe some practical ways you could incorporate them if you wanted to.
Right, so you can kind of make up your own mind based on all that.
Precisely. So let's maybe start right at the beginning, like the history of using crystals.
Yeah, because it's definitely not some, new age fad, is it? Crystal use goes way, way back.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about ancient civilizations like Egypt. They weren't just looking at lapis lazuli thinking, that's pretty blue.
No, not at all. They believed it actually had properties for healing, even for spiritual growth.
Oh, okay.
And then you look across the Mediterranean, the ancient Greeks, they also valued crystals. They saw them as tools sort of to promote balance and harmony inside yourself. And if you go even further, traditional Chinese medicine, crystals pop up in healing rituals there too. The belief was they interacted with the body's energy, the qi.
It's really striking, isn't it, that common thread across such different cultures and times.
It is.
It feels like there was this really widespread belief that these stones weren't just, dead objects.
Exactly. The underlying idea, it seems, was often that crystals could act as maybe conduits, tapping into the earth energy somehow,
Right.
and then interacting with what they saw as the body's own energy systems.
That whole idea of an energetic connection.
Yeah, that keeps coming back throughout history.
And well, that brings us neatly to today, doesn't it? Because even with all our modern science, that idea that crystals interact with our, personal energy fields, it's still really strong.
Absolutely. The contemporary belief often centers on this idea that each crystal has its own unique energetic frequency.
Like a vibration signature.
Sort of, yeah. A subtle vibration. And the thinking goes that by being near them or touching them, these frequencies can influence our own energy.
Yeah.
Maybe bring it into balance or boost certain qualities we want more of,
Which totally explains why certain crystals are so popular for specific things, like amethyst.
Calming, mental clarity.
Right. And rose quartz, everyone knows that's the love and emotional healing one.
That's the classic association, yeah.
And clear quartz is supposed to be like an amplifier, right?
Yeah.
Boosting whatever energy or intention you put into it.
That's the idea. And then you have citrine, often linked with attracting success or abundance. But it's really crucial to remember these beliefs, while they're deeply held by a lot of people, they mostly come from spiritual and metaphysical traditions. They kind of operate outside the usual framework of scientific evidence.
Okay, right. So let's put on that scientific lens then. What happens when we look at crystals from that perspective? What does the science say?
Well, the general scientific consensus, based on the research we have now, is that there's really no reliable evidence showing crystals can cure illnesses or directly improve physical health, or even tangibly change a person's energy field in a way we can actually measure scientifically.
Which I guess makes sense if you think about what they actually are.
Yeah.
They're minerals, right? Chemical elements in a specific structure.
Exactly. They're beautiful, sometimes rare, sure, but they're fundamentally physical matter.
So there's no known biological way they could directly cause, say, healing in the body.
Not that we've discovered their aesthetic value, their symbolic meaning, that's clear, but a direct physiological mechanism doesn't seem to be there. However, that brings us to something really interesting. The placebo effect.
Ah, yes. The power of the mind. How does that fit in with crystals then?
Well, the placebo effect is, a really well-established thing. A person feels better, sees improvement just because they believe they're getting an effective treatment.
Even if the treatment itself doesn't actually do anything medically.
Precisely. It just highlights how incredibly connected our minds and bodies are.
So, okay, if someone uses, say, an amethyst and feels calmer, it might be less about the amethyst itself and more about their expectation that it will make them feel calmer.
That's a very strong possibility, yes. Those positive feelings, less stress, more calm, whatever it is, they could very well be stemming from that placebo response, driven entirely by their belief in the crystal's power.
Okay, so the whole physical healing side seems to fall pretty squarely into the realm of belief, scientifically speaking.
Largely, yes.
But what about, like, mental and emotional well-being? Could there still be benefits there, even without that direct physical mechanism we talked about?
That's a really important distinction to make, I think, because even if we can't scientifically prove direct physical healing, there are potential psychological benefits that are worth looking at.
Okay, like what?
Well, let's explore a few ways. First, think about mindfulness and focus.
Right. How would crystals help with that?
For a lot of people, a crystal can become a physical anchor, something tangible to hold on to.
Ah, got it.
Holding one during meditation or just having it nearby where you can see it, it can act as this gentle reminder to just pause, breathe, ground yourself in the moment.
And we know mindfulness itself is good for you.
Exactly. The practice of mindfulness has really well-documented benefits. Less stress, better focus. The crystal just becomes a tool to help access that state.
That makes sense, like a physical cue for being present.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else? What's another potential psychological angle?
Let's think about rituals and the comfort rituals can bring. The act of choosing a specific crystal, deciding where you're going to put it, maybe carrying it with you, that can become a very personal ritual. And rituals themselves can give us a sense of control, maybe predictability, which can be incredibly soothing, especially if you're feeling stressed or anxious.
So the crystal becomes like a symbol within that ritual.
Yes, exactly. A meaningful symbol. So in this sense, it's the deliberate act of engaging with the crystal as part of that ritual that becomes the beneficial thing.
Right, the action itself is therapeutic.
Precisely. The therapeutic effect of rituals and symbols, that's a recognized thing in psychology. A crystal can be a tangible stand-in for an intention, like, I want to feel calm, or a desired emotional state. And that process can genuinely lead to feeling calmer or better.
And I guess we have to bring up the placebo effect again here.
We do, yeah, because it's kind of woven through all of this.
It really seems central.
It is, because ultimately, if using crystals genuinely helps someone feel better, more balanced, more hopeful, calmer, whatever, then that psychological benefit is real and valuable in itself, regardless of the mechanism. It's about their subjective experience, the positive shift in their mental state.
So it doesn't necessarily matter why it works for them, whether it's the crystal or their mind. If it contributes positively, that's a benefit worth acknowledging.
I think so, yes.
Okay. So for people listening who might be curious now, maybe thinking, okay, I get the science bit, but I'm still interested. What are some practical ways they could maybe gently incorporate crystals into their own wellness routines?
Sure. There are several pretty accessible ways. A really common one is using crystals during meditation or just, relaxation time.
How would that work?
You could simply hold a crystal in your hand, using it as that focal point we talked about. Or some people like to place them on specific parts of their body, maybe linking to the chakras, like rose quartz over the heart area, or amethyst on the forehead, the third eye spot.
That sounds quite simple, easy to add to something you might already be doing. Any other ideas?
Yeah, another popular approach is creating a kind of dedicated crystal space. In your home, maybe your workspace. This just involves intentionally placing certain crystals in areas where you want to encourage a particular feeling or intention.
Like the examples you gave earlier, amethyst by the bed for relaxation.
Exactly. Or clear quartz on your desk if you're trying to focus, that sort of thing.
So you're sort of setting an intention for that physical space, and the crystal acts as a visual reminder, or maybe like an energetic anchor for it.
That's a good way to put it. And then probably the most accessible way for many people is just wearing crystals as jewelry.
Oh, right. Necklaces, bracelets?
Exactly. A necklace, bracelet, earrings. It lets you carry that crystal and its perceived benefits or intention with you all day.
And it's a reminder too, I suppose.
Absolutely. It can be a very subtle, personal reminder of your wellness goals. Like wearing a rose quartz pendant might just gently prompt you to be a bit kinder to yourself throughout the day.
It really sounds like when you break it down, it's often less about some kind of, mystical energy transfer, and more about using the crystal as a focus tool for setting intentions, helping concentration, supporting those personal rituals in our lives.
I think that's a very helpful way to look at it, yes.
That makes a lot more sense to me now. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, what are the main things you think we should all keep in mind about crystals, wellness, and belief?
Well, I think the most important takeaway is this. While the science doesn't really back up claims of crystals having inherent direct healing powers,
Right.
using them in wellness practices can still be valuable for some people. That sense of calm or focus or the intention they bring, that can genuinely contribute to feeling better mentally, feeling less stressed.
And that's likely happening through those psychological effects, the ritual aspect, the placebo response we discussed.
Exactly. Those mechanisms are powerful in their own right.
So, bottom line,
Yeah.
if you find that using crystals helps you feel more grounded, calmer, more at peace, even if it's just your mind doing the heavy lifting.
Then that personal experience has value. It's real for you. But, and this is also crucial, it's about maintaining a balanced view of health overall.
Definitely.
Crystals could be maybe a complementary piece in a bigger picture, a holistic routine that should still include the proven stuff like good nutrition, exercise, getting mental health support when you need it.
So, not replacing standard medicine, but maybe adding something extra for some people.
Potentially, yes, if it resonates, because it really does come down to individual experience, doesn't it?
It really does. What works wonders for one person might do absolutely nothing for someone else.
Precisely. So exploring different practices, maybe including mindful ways to engage with crystals, that can just be part of figuring out your own personal wellness journey.
Well, thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the sparkling world of crystals and wellness.
My pleasure.
We really hope this exploration looking at the history, the beliefs, the science, those psychological angles, and the practical tips has given you some useful perspectives to think about.
And maybe it encourages you to think a bit more broadly, too, about the role that belief and intention play in lots of different parts of your well-being, way beyond just crystals.
That's a great final thought. Keep exploring, keep figuring out what truly resonates with you and supports your own path to wellness.